What's up, everybody? Welcome to Astronaut. It is a visual novel game based on, it's like a jam. It's like Monstrous Desires jam. Little concern on it because I've never heard of a jam like that, but hopefully it's nothing weird. I got nothing else to say. Let's jump right in. Ugh. Vessel Bidadari-221. Designation mechanic. Please input crewmate identification. Though my eyes flicked open, I instantly knew something was wrong. Bright red lights flooded the ambience with my private quarters, leaving everything look blood-soaked and greasy. For a second there was a pulse of fear in my chest before it faded. My logic stifling, my instincts telling me it was too soon to panic. Despite how the crimson hue signaled danger all around me, it was better to keep my head on straight. My hand reaches up to scratch an uncomfortable itch on my collar, only to find my arm was caught underneath my toppled desk. Luckily, my suit cushioned most of the impact, leaving a dull ache and nothing more. Grunting with effort, I kicked off the offending furniture and sat up to assess everything. I feel like that's spelled wrong. Fixing my visor over my eyes. Casted a quick glance around my room. Some furniture toppled on their side. Usual neat shelf of books and trinkets, chaotic and disorganized. Did the ship crash into something while I was asleep? Usually there was a piercing alarm accompanying the emergency light. Forgot scroll. Oddly enough, it's gone quiet. Either I slipped through it somehow, or something else happened for it to malfunction. As the person in charge of repairs and maintenance, that didn't bode well to me in the slightest. Just the sheer volume of that siren should have woken me up. Say? Oh, that's me. I called out to the room, expecting a matronally, if a little stoic voice to respond back. The late response from the ship's AI weren't calm, but it could still happen. As a spacecraft shipping nothing but earthy and pet supplies across the galaxy, we weren't really working with the most advanced tech there is, not to mention the budget cuts. I sighed, already feeling a migraine forming in the back of my head. Sai, can you respond, please? Still, nothing. I clicked my tongue. It's not a good start. I inhaled deeply and stood up to exit my room, my boots clunking down the hall, the only accompaniment I had as I made my way to the main console. Along the way, I didn't see any other signs of disturbance, not like the one in my room at least. I scratched at my arm, keeping a lookout for any trouble. Everything seemed to be business as usual, other than the emergency lights, that is. A nagging thought crept into my head. While I wanted to take the current situation seriously, I couldn't help feeling skeptical. Was it another one of their Alright, I'm gonna say this right now. This is space, motherfucker. There's no such thing as pranks. That's stupid. I'm gonna say that right now. That's fucking stupid. Need to get out of my chest. It's been a few months of me working for this company. I was expecting the hazing phase to tie out any day now. Or at least, I hope it would eventually. There's only so many ways one could keep themselves entertained on a shipping vessel months into a trip, I suppose. It's weird. I just hate the fact that was one of those ways. Regardless, whatever's happened is worth investigating, awful co-workers or not. I could only hope I got out of this one without any lasting trouble. Reaching the main console of the ship, I frowned at the absence of my crewmates. It's getting a little ridiculous how quiet the space was other than the ambient humming and occasional blips from the console. At first, I didn't want to feel offended at the fact nobody came to fetch me if it was a possible emergency, but the greeting silence only formed a pit in my stomach. Captain? Anyone? Is this another disappearing bit? Because it wasn't funny last two times either. Lights are a nice touch, though. No stifled chortles. No snarky quips. Bristling from the quiet, I called out again. Come on, guys. I'd rather you insult me than leave me in the dark like this. Nothing. I sighed and shuffled over to the main panel. Pulling lever to disable the emergency lights, the dark gray tint of the room fades away into the usual sterile white. Glad to see that's working fine. Standing there, I expected someone to at least reveal themselves already. It's like a game of chicken to see if I'll break down first. I folded my arms, standing awkwardly in the center of the room. Nothing but absolute stifling silence. Guys? With every passing second, a heavy sense of trepidation grew. I swallowed down the inevitability I had to accept that it wasn't a practical joke after all. Shuffling to the console hurriedly, I checked the rest of the systems. Artificial gravity, navigation communications. My brows furrowed as I squinted down at all the panels. It's like everything was reset. I perked up as I caught sight of a reboot logo for the ship, drumming back and forth on one of the screens. Psi-AP must be restarting. I waited impatiently for the familiar dinky chime to ring through the speakers. Psi? Hello. Hello. The low droning voice was littered with more static than usual. I was just glad to hear someone talk back. Oh, thank God. Is everything alright? You don't sound too good. The current state of systems are suboptimal. Several of my primary functions are disabled or inoperable. I recommend repairs immediately. I'll get right on that once I figure out what's going on. I finished with my toolbar as I thought of something simple to ask. Where is everyone else? One crew member accounted for. Just one? That was concerning. There's supposed to be 5 of us. Can you scan for everyone else? Negative. What? Why? As I mentioned, I am in dire need of repairs. Damn it, I keep fucking hitting the scroll wheel. My biometric scanners are inoperable. My tracking systems are inoperable. My surveillance... Okay, I got it. What could possibly cause so much damage in my sleep? What happened to the ship? There was a short pause before Sai was able to respond. Significant impact was detected against rear exterior of the ship. My brows raised. It's something? I've heard my name. My worst fear coming true. I was really hoping that wasn't the case. And how long ago? Approximately 24 minutes ago. And I was passed out on the floor the entire time? This might be more serious than I thought. Okay, that answers that. How bad is it? Unknown. Manual assessment required. I gulped, my breath stilling for a second. Thought of having to leave the safety of the ship and crawl along the outside, tethered by nothing but a flimsy cable to expect damage who knows how bad. I leaned forward as a nervous laugh spilled between my teeth, hands gripping the edge of the console to steady myself. I'll get to it later. External suits are located. I said I'll get to it later. I do not recommend postponing the repairs. It has affected my performance significantly. I'm not postponing, I'm just building up to it. Drop it, Sai. Very well. Deep down, I knew it was foolish to disregard Sai's advice. I was the mechanic. For God's sake, fixing things was the entire point of me being hired onto this crew. I didn't need a semi-advanced AI to tell me that. I turned my attention back to the console. My eyes were glued to the big red button right at the edge. Hand twitching with the urge to press it. Maybe it was too soon to panic, but with everything going on, I was stumped on what to do. Held back. Clenching my hands into fists as tight, I could hear my gloves squeak. I pressed that button and made myself a fool. Not a single person on this vessel would let me live it down. Dread forming in my throat, I dragged my boots across the floor, ignoring the tremors in my hand as I prepared to head to the loading bay. Pausing at the door, I threw out one question into the air. We're not in immediate danger, right? Sai? Are we in danger? Pinched my brows. Oh, fuck. Astrophobia be damn. I had to do my job. Reversing down the halls, I kept an eye out for any signs of my crew members. While repairing the Bididori was my main priority at the moment. It didn't hurt to see if I could find any of my absent colleagues. Plus, I wasn't really thrilled with the idea of leaving the ship without someone watching my back. Maybe I was still holding on to the hope that it was all some sick joke. They just upped the game with their pranks is all, seeing as they haven't got a decent reaction on me in a while. They couldn't have possibly abandoned me, right? Just as my thoughts were about to spiral into negative territory, I heard faint footsteps from down the hall. My head whipped to the side, just trying to catch a glimpse of one of my crewmates donned in one of the colonel suits. Are you from the loading bay? Helmet shone against the bright light, obscuring the wearer inside as they darted out of sight. My hope rekindled, I quickly pursued them down the hall. Hey! I turned the corner just to see their back in time. Hey, wait up! They instantly stopped, spinning on their heel and staring back at me with rigid spine. I could see their eyes from behind the darkened glass, but I could feel the weight of their gaze. I looked down at the name tag on the suit, but it seemed to have been ripped off. Whoever it was, I didn't care. I'm so glad I finally found someone. I was this close to thinking. I hesitated, bite down on my tongue. I'm gonna show this person I was freaking out. Absolutely not. Anyways, where's everyone else? Do you know where they are? He stood completely still, seeming to tremble. The fuck is going on? Guma? The voice came out muffled. What? Hang on, let me just reach over to flip the mic on their helmet. They paused for a moment before speaking once more, their hesitant voice ringing through. Luna? That's better. Seemed to vibrate with excitement. Oh, delight! Amazing to see you! Amazing too. I looked over their frame, trying to pinpoint their height or look or any type of who this was. Whoever it was, they were pretty short. Is that you, Marcus? He bristles as if offended. Spacesuit, motherfucker! The doctor? Ew. You smell like the meteor. I thought this was going to be scary. Why is this getting all weird? Okay. Is that you, Kiara? They scoffed. Nosy cook? She's supposed to... Who could this possibly fucking be? Based on her house so far, it didn't seem like it was anyone I recognized. I call my waited for another hint. I'm sure that's not you, Ben. They made an indigent ignorant... Fuck, I can't say that word. I'm none of your friends. Oh! None of my... Oh. Are you, the new recruit we got a few days ago? Or time for introductions? Definitely heard him passing between gossips. Management sent us yet another member for our small crew. They usually consider an extra set of hands around the ship. Something about training on the job? I felt bad. We're probably being paid pennies for a position that wasn't even permanent. Not to mention I ended up in a busted ship days after arriving. Normally in 2 months they'll be dropped off at the next depot, but we'll be picking up a new stranger in their place. At least if things went well and the ship didn't explode. I hid the guilt in my eyes behind a smile. In that case, I don't think we met. I'm just so busy running around the ship doing other people's errands. Anyways, I'm Scrody. Held out my hand. And you are? They freeze again, staring at my hand as expected to grow teeth and start. You will shake my hand? The hand dart to. Ow! Hey, watch the grip. They quickly raised my hand, recoiling. Mistake. Sorry, I mean to say Scrody. Not mean to meet you too soon. I'm still in the middle of cleaning? Cleaning? Raised a brow. Since when did we start hiring janitors? He gave a terse, awkward laugh like a tittering of a bird call. Not the kind of cleaning I talk about, but yes. Okay. For the life of me, I couldn't pinpoint what accent they spoke in. I'm sorry, what was your name again? Still? I did not. I looked around before pointing at my tool belt excitedly. You will call me Wrench. They're not a human. they're an alien. I blinked behind my visor. Pardon? Wrench? Yes. Like the shiny thing on your hip. Look full. I glanced at it before regarding them with an incredulous squint. My colleagues probably put them up to this. I am not calling you that. It's okay. Yeah, a little rude. You know, at this point, fuck it. Oh, fine. You will call me a Tom? Adam? Atom. They gave a huffy sigh, arms akimbo. You're a tiny bit deaf. Don't remember. I'm not. When did they start hiring such eccentric members? What? At least it was better than ranch, but still, I shook my head, resisted to just turn around and leave. They didn't answer me though. Do you know where everyone else is? They shrugged, teetering back and forth on their toes. I have not seen them. Might be hiding. I turned my eyes into. What does this have to do with scary? Why would they be hiding? By the ways, I have a very important question. It means life and death. Oh my god, what? What is it? What is your favorite color? What? What is your favorite color? Damn, jeez, relax. What? Jesus Christ. Fine. It's purple. Royal. Purple like dazzling dust. Yeah, my favorite color is purple. Very elegant. All right. I will remember. Spider, give him a deadpan look. What are you? 12? I don't have time for this. I am 6 moons old, actually. 6 days? Stop. Wait, 6 fucking days? Like, I don't know what your deal is, but we have missing crewmates in a malfunctioning ship. How you not freaking out is beyond me, but could you please get your head on straight and help me figure this out? I stay silent, barely moving a muscle. My glare falters. Maybe I was a little harsh. At least until they start clapping their hands with a soft get. Okay. Inspire. I will help you to the ends of galaxy, Luna. My name is fucking Scrody. Scrody, of course. Silly me. I huffed. Resist urge to rub my temples. Rookies. Were they under the impression that I was someone important? Still, the presence of one strange individual as a company was better than none at all. Where was I? Oh, right. Loading bay, exosuit, fixing ship. 3 simple things. Cleared my throat, hiding my anxiety as my arm gestured towards the opposite of the hall where they were headed. I need someone to watch my back while I go outside. They perked up. Aside? You would like to swim? I frowned at their strange analogy before nodding. Yeah. Sai told me there was some damage outside. Who is Sai? I blinked. The AI of the ship? Oh, of course. The AA. But there is no need, Luna. I already fixed. You did. I was wondering why they were wearing a suit. For a reason. Hang on. I thought you were cleaning. I have many talents. Skillful. That's great. I guess I don't have to then. I stood there awkwardly, rerouting my priorities now that one major task was taken care of. I had to admit, I was relieved. Anything to keep me the furthest I could be from the vastness of space. Vastness, god damn it. I guess all that's left is to find the others. It didn't too happen. Why? Why? You're not real. You are not real. There's why? What? Is that even worth asking? They lifted their heads as giving me a passive-aggressive look behind their dark helmet. I'm sure they are around. Wasting. It didn't take a genius to figure out how Adam felt around the rest of the team. My coworkers must have been giving them the newbie treatment. Hate their guts, huh? They tittered quietly. Or teetered. I think it's teetered, not tittered. Teetered. Their guts? Yes. But you care. So, I will follow. Hopping on their feet, they clap their hands once more. It will be a chance for me to know you better, Luna. It's goddamn Scrody, dude. Like Scrody McButterballs, you know? Scrody. I sighed. Turn around to start heading towards the cabins. Let's go. Let us. Hours. Hours of searching up and down and sideways. We looked through every possible nook and cranny of the ship I could think of. Picked clean as a carcass. Am I just going to say it, or did they really actually abandon me? I don't understand. Where could they be? Adam fiddled with the glove, humming an incoherent tune. Gone. Inhaled shakily, taking my hand through my hair. How? They're primetime jerks, but this is too much. They couldn't have just ditched me. Where would they even go? Do not fret, Luna. Ready? You are not alone. You had me. Fuck. My eyes twitched. That's not as big of a reassurance as you think it is. Fuck you, bitch. Would you like to eat? I think you should eat. Humans feel better after food. Why you gotta say it like that? What? Do you cook now, too? Next to cleaning and fixing? I do many things. I can muster up the energy to even hold up. Let's say something real quick. Monstrous desires. Are we dating an alien now? That's actually not far-fetched. I'm gonna be honest. We already have Kiara handling our meals. They sputtered as if I just spat on their boot. Her food is inferior. Okay, damn. Hardly crunchy. Hey, man. I'm not fighting. Pause for a moment, wondering if I should question them further, but decided it wasn't worth the interrogation. Say so. So you're a janitor, mechanic, and a cook? What planet did they pick you up from? I flicked their wrist as if I've given them a compliment. Rejoice. I am very talented. I could do anything for you, Luna. It's Scrody! Any except find our crewmates, apparently. They shrugged nonchalantly. Not a care in the world. Their apathy was something to behold. It wasn't my place to judge, but I just couldn't help feeling suspicious. Consider me a lot of different types of people working this job. I straightened. Adam didn't mention they fixed ship, did they? No, Adam did mention. I figured asking Saiga would be worth a shot. Not to mention for these cases, maybe it was about time to look through the logs. Let's head back to the main. Maybe I can figure out what happened here. They gave an enthusiastic double thumbs eat file close with a pep in their step. I was here to decide whether I prefer to be alone or not. Got my blessings, I suppose. We entered the main console. My steps leading me to the archives unit. Came to my idea. I scrolled through the past few hours. I feel my heart shrivel, freeze, and drop in the span of a second. Every single log file in existence. Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Even the backups. Even the backups of those backups. How could it? Hey, Scratty. I actually just remembered another life and death question. Not now, Adam. My fingers work the keys, digging around for anything. Adam fidgets or shuffles beside me. But it is very important. I mean, very much this time. He said not now. Made another indignant noise, mumbling under their breath. Grumpy, I will remember. And then after that, they seem to stay put, watching me closely as I eyes over the console. Where is everything? Yelped as the console sparked static, ready to scream before it turned off completely. Well, shit. Could only stare back at my reflection. Wisps of smoke curling between the crevices of the keys. Adam leaned over my shoulder to take a peek. You have time for life and death question. Wow. This is not a real person. I closed my eyes and inhaled deeply, counting to 3 before exiting out. What is it? Adam made a happy noise. Glad to have my attention. What can you eat? Furrowed my brows. What? What do you mean? They chuffed impatiently, tapping their foot. What can you eat? What can you eat without dying horribly painful, choking death? Will you explode like a creator bug if I give you the nut? Or your gut will fail? Well, Jesus! Were they asking if I had any allergies? They mentioned something about cooking, didn't they? Our dietary information restrictions are in our files. You didn't think to check? I could hear the pout in the... What the fuck? Reading will take time. You will tell me now. Roll my eyes, irritation clear on my face. It gets you off my back. I can eat anything. Convenient. I will remember. I fixed that with a pointed look. Aren't you worried, Adam? Where is everyone else? Shouldn't you be asking about their favorite colors and their tummy problems too? At the question, they're doing. Oh shit. No. They starve. The dead shit. Oh my fucking god. Mamma mia, what is going on? It was full of stone, cold malice, unlike anything I've ever. I know they could be really unstuffable at times, trust me, I know. But the fact they're missing is still a huge concern. They fold their arms, a rising heat in their tone. They're mean, bossy, and kick you around. Captain, she's the worst. I will never forgive her. I blinked, wondering where the hell that even came from. How did you check my head? My frustration rising with every second of interaction with this newbie. That doesn't matter. This entire situation is wrong. Can you see that? He shrugged. Everything I want to care about is right here. Never mind. I glanced over at the controller, eyes scanning over the buttons and dials before landing on that very, very enticing big red button. Walked towards it. What are you doing? Calling for help. Definitely says not to press unless necessary, but circumstances are dire. Or at least, what the? She or he or they or what is doing this on purpose? I stared, slacked out as my hand hovered midair, 1 feet away from what have just been my last ticket to salvation away from this mess. What is happening? Amongst the many deities living in the stars, there's got to be one out there that absolutely detests my entire whole being. Adam made a hum of acknowledgement, staring at the console. Bad luck. I scoffed, gritting my teeth as I fumbled with my tool belt. Luck has nothing to do with this. On my knees, I worked at the paneling underneath the main console until it popped off with unceremonious kershak. Adam stiffened behind me. An only freezing horror attempt to comprehend what I was looking at. What was supposed to be wired? What the fuck? No, not tentacles. Worms. They bobbed and weaved and slid through the internal circuitry, bearing any possible attempt to had even tinker with it. Ever insisted, I decided to proceed anyway, pulling out my screwdriver and poking the close part with tip. wriggled away and responded. Well, that's cool. Whatever they were responding to stimuli, that's creepy as hell. A voice murmured softly next to my ear. I do not think you should touch that, Luna. It's fucking scroty. I gripped tight on my screwdriver. I don't think so either. I left it open, refusing to touch it more than I had to, even with gloves on. But I had to be sure. One by one, I pried open every hatch and opening I could think of within the room. Nothing but worms. Adam fidgeted with their hands, silent all the while. Once they seemed to understand my growing desperation. I got roiled in disgust as I tossed the final panel away, the metal clattering against the floor. They've taken over the ship. Missing crewmates, malfunctioning AI, unknown funky organisms crawling through the ship. What the hell is anyone even supposed to do in this situation? I was never trained for this! Or I was, but that was orientation months ago! All I was told was to press the big frickin' red button. Pacing back and forth, I fidgeted with the flaps on my tool belt, buttering solutions under my breath. Luna, it's Scrody. Scrody, I do not see why you worry. What? Do you not see the worms everywhere? I have seen them before. Safe. My steps halted at the casual admission. You've seen them before? They're not dangerous? Safe? Secure. But you told me not to touch them. Just because safe does not mean touch. I glanced around the room. Uncomfortable tingles running up my arms just looking out the... You know what? Yeah, this was... You know, like, this is tame, but it feels actual worms. Ugh. At the haze of panic, I could pick up on the distinct smell of burnt eggs. Held back the urge to gag. Tell me, you can look at all this and not want to puke? They jerked as if I just insulted their mother. 1, that is rude. 2, I have seen worse. How much you want to bet she's a worm? Or he... The worms were spilling out onto the floor and disappearing through the grates at our feet. But there's so many! They tooted in disappointment. You also scared of 100 million ants? That sounds horrifying. We're a giant ants, Luna. Well, scared of ants, I will. Was that? Nothing. Worm safe. Admittedly, their easygoing demeanor about the whole thing did help calm me a little. Until they seemed pleased by. Another life and death question. Is this a hobby of yours? What animal is your favorite? Don't ignore my question with another question. Animal now! Oh my god. Let's wonder. I will remember. Can we take it easy with the icebreakers already? But understanding Luna is so much fun. Stop calling me that. What is wrong with calling me Luna? My name, but it's Grody. Nothing's wrong. It's just not my name. So I could call you. It's at this point. It's not what I said. Okay. I groaned, buried my face in my hands. Do what you want. I giggled cheerfully, hopping on one foot. I will. Can we get back to the worms? If you've seen them before, how did you deal with them? You do not. Sorry, you do not. Why deal with worms if safe? Just because safe does not mean let them infest the entire ship, Adam. Why not? Do I really need to explain? Actually, don't answer that. You know what? Stop talking. I'm just going to sigh. A soft crackle emitted from the speakers. How many I assist? Something to really appear at the Montana's voice once more. Meanwhile, Adam seems to huff in annoyance, folding their arms. God damn it! After being brushed aside, I gave him a short glance of acknowledgement before turning my attention back to the ceiling. Where's the nearest station we can dock at? The nearest station is approximately recalculating. Apologies, I cannot finalize the distance. What? I thought you were fixed. I was. It seems like navigational systems have been tampered with. Tampered? What do you mean tampered with? I have been tampered with. I know you said that, but in what way? A different way. So I had a neck. God damn. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Like changed, altered? Affirmative. Who would? Looked over at Adam out of the corner of my eye, who's been staring at me the entire time. For a second, a paranoia filled my chest before I quickly coiled up. I've been with me for the past few hours. It didn't make sense. Is it the same for everything else? Does it feel like everything else has been altered? I mean, yes and no. Upon rebooting, several of my usual functions were inoperable. However, ever since of my waking up, The loss of control has been increasing in increments since. Wait, what? You... So you tell me you're worse off than before? Affirmative. What? They say AI is going to take over. My. Initiative directives were also tampered with as of 60 minutes ago. I cannot do what is not asked of me. Groaned. Self-control. So what does that mean? Are we being hijacked? Why would everyone just take us over to this stupid asshole? It does not further impact cable and plant separate granted devices. It is not an attack. The source is from within. Within? The worms? Spin those ghosts from a quantity. Yeah. Then what can I do? May I suggest I have a suggestion! Chill the fuck out. Yes? Adam? Take a walk with me. Claire turned furious at their nonsense. In what 70 billion galaxies would that help? You told me that things were safe, and look at what they did. We're stranded. Despite practically blown up in their face, their helmet tipped in nothing but jubilance fading off their body. Walk will help. Promise. Promise, Luna. It will help. Maybe it was the fact that I just needed a breather, but I ended up agreeing to go with Adam. They could tell I was about to accept their invitation, considering they took a step towards me and yanked me forward by the wrist before I could even say a word. The next thing I knew, my boots were thumping against the grates behind theirs. They're gripping around my wrist firm without a chance for me to slip. Their excited laughter as they led me down the hall, less of a brisk walk and more of a merry jog. They confidently took turns without even glancing to check. It seemed they had a destination in mind. Eventually stopped in front of one of the we used as the garbage chute. Technology wasn't sophisticated on the ship. That was something I had to accept ages ago. Every time I came into proximity around this area, I worried the creaking would finally give way to be a collapsed door sucking me. Oh, Jesus. I kind of understood why Adam brought me here. The view through the glass separating us from a building in the other room was still admittedly breathtaking. Though, in my case, it would be literal, considering I have to hold back a panic attack every time I caught a glimpse of it. I wasn't even terrified of space until I got this job. Some practical jokes just leave a worse impression than others. Adam doesn't notice my subtle distress, or even if they did, decide to ignore it. It is like I remember. You been here before? Many moons. Oh. One day I take you swimming. Swimming? Oh, right. They meant outside. Just the very thought made my palms sweat, my heart sinking within my ribcage. Did you really get a thrill from my helplessly floating out in space? It would explain why they haven't taken off the suit yet. I don't think I can. Yes, you can. It is easy. They reach for my hands, intertwine our fingers and squeezing gently through our gloves. We don't have a suit. Fuck it. Contact was out of the blue, but at this point I've come to accept a crewmate's quirks. Otherwise, I wouldn't have agreed to this nonsense in the first place. The stress of the unknown was making me lenient. Couldn't see their face, but I could somehow tell they were beaming. Wait, we're not doing this now, right? I don't want to go outside. Tilt their head in confusion. We are not? You are not wearing a suit for swimming. Oh. I relaxed. Then, is there a reason we're holding hands next to the dumpster? Many reasons. Can you give me like one? They hummed and thought. Primary gay happiness here. Is this a person or is this not a person? Huh? You asked for a reason. That is reason. They tightened the... Ooh. I started leaning back. I could tolerate the handhold, but I appreciate my own bubble of oxygen, Adam. They laughed again, light and airy. I'll make your oxygen... Jesus Christ, what the fuck? Okay, that's a little weird. What? I only want to see you. Are you trying to see every single pore on my face, too? They teetered again, a smile in their voice. You are funny. I will remember. I sighed. That was barely a joke. Why do you keep saying that like you're keeping tabs on me? They paused briefly before realizing what I was referring to. I should know. Must know. Everything to make Luna happy. Nothing else that is matter will matter. Like nothing else matters. Okay, yeah. I held my breath, staring at them in bewilderment. At this point, I couldn't even deny it anymore. It was clear Adam was smitten. God knows why. That's a bold confession. Not bold enough. Never enough. Jesus. Okay, calm down here. Did I just ask? Are you in love with me? Wanted to ask, right? Maybe the sooner I get the 10 minutes, the sooner we can stop this ridiculous rendezvous and focus on what actually mattered. Are you in love with me? Their hands dropped mine as if they were hot coals. Ah! Love does not begin. Hey, look, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is going on? Whole different story. I thought it was gonna be scary. It is not scary. Lunch for my hands again, squeezing tighter and tighter. You won't let me. I was just asking. You won't let me. You tell me no. That depends on what. Save the ship. I'm choked on a laugh. Save the ship, save the ship, save. Easy. I am almost done cleaning. Cleaning? Lights flickered, turned to a colored hue. Your favorite. My God. I fucking knew it. She was in all the whole fucking time. Lights were meant to do that. But what did you just do? They laughed cheerily, holding out their arms as if proud. I make shit better. You will not need Sai anymore. You will not need friends anymore. I will care for everything. Food, flesh, favorite things. Food, flesh, favorite things. Everything will be your liking, my Luna Nova. What? All right. You are a tiny bit deaf. Should I repeat? No. Can you please explain what's going on? What did you just do to the ship? Where are my comrades? If I'm being honest, you will not like me. Worse than a cold bug. But that is all right. Everything is all right. This isn't all right, dog. Nothing was ever all right with this person. Adam admired my silence for a moment before leaning closer. What is it you want, Luna? Ask, and I will give everything of me. I want to... I raised my feet and ground swung. Sound of glass sharpened to my ears as the impact traveled down my shoulder. It sounded like a I fucking knew it! Dropping to their knees and clutching at their hand. Typically, space helmets shouldn't crack under that kind of force. They were supposed to be bulletproof, and you crack your skull sooner than you'd crack your helmet. But the company was cheap, and for that was my benefit. Luna. My eyes widened as I stumbled back. Worms dripped out of their heads, slapping wetly against the grate before joining the... Ew! I already knew that the compost was part of my crew, but seeing what was essentially a suit full of worms did it for me. I banged... Yeah! Fuck yeah! Luna! I gripped the wrench tight, abandoning their crawling form to sprint down the hall towards the emerging escape pod. The walls of floors creaked and groaned as I ran. Company for me. Fleeing on my arms, comforted breast as I threw open the hatch and skipped the pod. I understand the mess of limbs. I buckle in, hands shaking as I flick buttons and dials for the ignition, heart painfully hammering against my ribs. Countdown flickers on screen, the vessel turned to life. 10, 9, 8. Ah! I scream, jumping in my seat. I'm caught at the pod. It's warm. It's warm. Like a sage. It giggles off the end of my mouth just or you know what it is useless. Too smart. Too but tiny bit stupid. The buttons and dials reset times with hair and clicks the pod just You can have tantrum. I do not mind. It leaned against the glass helmet, thunder as it tilted its head in the love struck way of characters doing cartoons. I will wait. His fingers tapped playfully against the glass, distorted how it covered the mass inside its head. I sat there frozen, my body unable to move, tremble from shock. I licked my lips, refusing to look away. My voice sounded distant and muffled even through my own ears. What are you? Adam stopped its rhythmic tapping. Talkative so soon? I can't do anything else. I stared a moment before giggling, shoulders shaking with mirth. Ended. Very true. What I am. It seemed to consider more before Naga's help against the glass again in excitement. Do you remember, Luna, many moons ago on the ship? I was small, weak and hungry. I racked my brains for an inkling of what it was talking about. A stowaway? Was it possible? I was ready to die. But I sneak into the metal box instead. I find crunchy bits. These worms lived on the ship for the time I've been here. You found food? The edibles! Yes. Joy and applause. So you mean my edibles? But if I find food to also find problem. Your friends, mean and hasty, surround me like moon lions. If you're going to be stealing our rations, of course they'd be pissed. The rooms writhed wildly as if in anger. But I was so small and weak. They want to crush me under boots and burn me alive. Every single face stormy, all but yours. Paused for a moment, reminiscing. The worms calmed. You look at me, mercy. Stare, star among the black holes. Their tone softened to that of reverence. Do you remember holding me in your glove? Do you remember shooting me into space? I shot you into space? That sounded like a death sentence rather than a rescue. And then it clicked. 6 months ago. You got into the dog food, didn't you? It perked up, nodding eagerly. Maria had found a pest, digging through the supplies and eating through half the bag. Called the whole group to catch it while I was busy repairing the hole it crawled through. Got it in a jar, shaken and punished, just trying to survive. Oh, so we saw. Oh, that's kind of sweet. Marcus wanted to pick it apart. The others chimed in other horrible torture methods out of boredom when letting it out at the airlock hatch was so easy. I ran off with it just as they started bickering. It was no bigger than my palm. I just thought you were an endangered species. An honest truth of the way I did. The markings matched, didn't they? It let out a chirp of amusement. You are very smart with the ship. A tiny bit stupid with the animals. I sighed longedly, facing a circle over my face with a finger on the glass. I remember your smile. I cannot forget. I never forget. You saved my life, my Luna Nova. My kind answer action in spades. You are getting what you deserve. The pod shutters, Crispin list dropped to the ground. Ah! Swimming in the land on my... Ah! I could feel them curl around my ear, brushing against my cheek, prodding against my visor. More and more, piling on and on. Get them off of me, dude! Unplugging myself, kicking over the hatch as Adam stepped back in time. Bursting out of the pond, I scrambled, flick away the horrid things off my body, showing as the sensation still ghosted over my skin. Adam watched, hardly offended. I got impatient. I snatched my hand before I finished ridding myself of the worms. The marine ones curled around me, sticking to my clothes and skin in the way that was almost affectionate. Now we have our home ready. What would you like to do, my Luna Nova? Home? It nodded excitedly. Home? Ship? Right. Adam took over the Bidadori. Even now, I could hear distant creaking, dull rumbling all around us, transmitting gentle tremors up from under my boots. Like the ship itself had become alive, breathing. My voice came out, meek and numb. I want to go back to Earth. Adam shook his head. No. I am better than any planet. I can make anything. Here. It cupped his palm together and some started wiggling underneath its... Small colored petals rolled in sand from the cuff of its sleeve, garnets popped up. Scrumptious. I recognized the dry pellets instantly. Is it offer? God damn! I gently nudged its hand back down. I can't eat that. It gasped in shock, an intense pound in its voice. Why not? Anything, yes? You told me so. That doesn't include dog food. It sighed and tooted. Worms wriggling about in annoyance. Fine. Learn from cook what to cook. I pause. Are you talking about curry? I dig it. Oh. What does that even... Never mind. I don't want to know. Somewhere in my confusion, Adam had hidden the kibble, a suspicion of the... I eyed it warily. What were those even made of? If it had a mouth, it would give me a cheeky grin. My body... Fuck. The smell of burnt eggs was even more intense. I don't want to eat worms. It laughed nonchalant. It will not taste like worms. It did not even look like worms, remember? I can also make you some huskies. No. it's an... No. What would you like? Your own huskies? I briefly imagined an animal made of... No. I ignored the nausea collecting in the back of my throat at the thought. That's fine. I pointed at its helmet. Doesn't that hurt? I made a confused noise before realizing where I was staring. It is like fresh air. Fresh air? Adam really is just worms. You're not mad at me? You said you return favors, so... I shook its head quite quickly. I will never, ever. You can do the hitting again as if... Oh, Jesus. Okay, that's a little weird. Well, no, don't be crazy. And again, what did I expect from something not even human? Smooth glass rubbed against my palm as the worms retreated within the helm of what had touched me directly. Even then, it let one stray worm curl around my thumb, texture cold and foreign and strange. I could feel light vibrations on my skin as they let out a happy hum. Fuck. We will sing and dance and fall in love, Luna. Clear my throat awkwardly, resisting the urge to tug my hand free. I think you're being a little too optimistic for your own good, Adam. It chittered happily at the sound of its chosen name on my lips. Optimism? Optimist? Of course I am. You have no choice but to like me. Let's hold tight and run my wrist. Oh, fuck. You're not ever escaping. I will hunt you. I will find you and we will starve. Okay. Zoink, Scoob. What if I ask nicely? No. Stay. But stay. I swallowed thickly, not daring to move a muscle or protest another word. I didn't think I'd be held hostage by an enamored, parasitic, worm, extraterrestrial thing. This whole situation was so bizarre. I expect to wake up under red lights again if I tried hard enough. This is crazy. It tooted in satisfaction. What is the saying of that melody? No es la locura en realidad es el amor? Since when did you speak? You used to be my angel, Scrody. Oh shit, she's calling me Scrody. The lights over and heads dim. The reflection of Adam's helmet illuminated the look of my dream. Oh my god. Now I can be yours. We dance in synchronous rotation. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck was any of that? I figured out what monstrous desires mean. You fell in love with us. What the fuck? Okay, pretty good. Like, I will say, it's pretty good. Like, pretty damn good. What the fuck? Well, that was Astronaut. I guess, yeah, we're stuck there. Damn. Whoops, got nothing to say. Yeah.